That time I got reincarnated as a fox? By Rimu_Kai. 6. The great naming catastrophic. The morning sunlight streamed into Rimuru's hut like it had no respect for personal boundaries. A faint breeze wiggled through the gaps in the wooden walls, tickling his fox ears and making his big fluffy tail twitch. Rimuru groaned and stretched, feeling his long blue hair cascade dramatically behind him, as though auditioning for a shampoo commercial. His golden eyes peeped open, glowing like they were equipped with LEDs. He sat up, his reflection catching on a shard of polished obsidian balanced precariously on a stump. His androgynous, youthful face stared back at him, looking like the protagonist of every fantasy story ever. His sleeveless white shirt, loose black pants, and red cloth belt screamed, "I'm both humble and stylish, thank you very much." "Yup, still ridiculously good-looking," Rimuru muttered to himself, fluffing his tail for maximum morning drama. As if on cue, Raphael's voice purred into his mind like a mischievous cat ready to knock over all his mental furniture. Open double angle bracket. Good morning, Rimuru-sama. Close double angle bracket. Raphael, it's too early for your antics. Open double angle bracket. Early? It is precisely 8:02 a.m. Perhaps your internal clock requires recalibration. Shall I assist you? Or shall we discuss your impressive tactical hammock failure from last night? Close double angle bracket. Rimuru's ears flattened in embarrassment. That hammock had structural integrity issues. Stop bringing it up. Raphael chuckled, her tone dripping with mockery. Open double angle bracket. Of course, Rimuru-sama. Allow me to compile a list of your greatest accomplishments for the villagers. Entry 1. Death by hammock. Shall I proceed? Close double angle bracket. Rimuru facepalmed, groaning. You're fired, effective immediately. Open double angle bracket. You cannot fire your ultimate skill, Rimuru-sama. Perhaps you'd like me to seduce you instead? Would that provide sufficient distraction? Close double angle bracket. Rimuru's tail bristled like an angry feather duster. Raphael, I swear, one more line like that, and I'm putting you on mute. Open double angle bracket. Oh, Rimuru-sama, how cruel. Shall I pout? Or would you prefer I whisper sweet nothings about your fluffy tail instead? It is quite magnificent. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru grabbed his red belt with a flourish, muttering, why did I get stuck with the world's most annoying and loving AI? Before Rimuru could mentally prepare for the next round of Raphael's sass, a nervous knock came at the door. Rimuru-sama, a goblin called timidly, the elder and the direwolf pack leader have arrived to greet you. Great, let them in. Rimuru plopped into his chair and tried to look important, which was tricky with bed hair and a smug voice in his head. The elder goblin hobbled in first, his back so bent he looked like he was practicing for a goblin limbo contest. Beside him, the direwolf pack leader radiated majestic energy, followed closely by his son, Ranga, who had enough enthusiasm to power a small city. Rimuru-sama, the elder croaked, bowing so low his nose almost touched the floor, we humbly thank you for your leadership. The direwolf leader dipped his head solemnly. We owe you everything. My son also wishes to renew his loyalty. Unnamed Ranga barked, his tail wagging like a hyperactive wind turbine. I'll follow you anywhere, Rimuru-sama. Even to the ends of the earth. Or, Rimuru said, pointing at him, we could avoid the whole ends of the earth thing and stick to places with snacks. Sound good? Yes, Rimuru-sama. Good. Now, listen up. Gather all the goblins and direwolves in the square. Big meeting. No excuses, no stragglers. I don't care if someone's mid-nap, mid-meal, or mid-existential crisis. Move it. The village square was absolute pandemonium. Goblins milled around, whispering nervously, while the direwolves sat in perfect lines, tails wagging like a synchronized fluffy choir. Rimuru climbed onto a giant tree stump he'd kicked into place and puffed out his chest like he was about to deliver a TED Talk. All right, pipe down, everyone, Rimuru called. His tail swished behind him like a pointer stick. Big announcement time. From now on, goblins and direwolves are equals. You're all gonna live together like roommates, but with more fur and fewer passive-aggressive notes on the fridge. The crowd collectively tilted their heads in confusion. One goblin raised his hand. Rimuru-sama, what if the wolves eat us? Easy, Rimuru said, pointing dramatically at the direwolves. No eating your roommates. That's rule 0. Break it, and I'll make you sleep outside. In the rain. Without your tail to keep you warm. The wolves growled softly, looking like they'd just been told to go on a diet. Now, Rimuru continued, pair up. 1 goblin, 1 wolf. I don't care if you like each other or not, figure it out. And if anyone tries to cheat and take 2 partners, I'll know. What followed was a mix of reluctant partnerships, enthusiastic handshakes, and at least 1 goblin who tried to bribe a wolf with snacks. Good. Now, the rules, Rimuru declared, holding up his hand like a dramatic anime protagonist. Rule 1. No fighting among allies. If you've got beef with someone, grill it somewhere else. No fighting in the village. Rule 2. Help your buddy. If your partner gets stuck in a tree or falls into a pond, you fish them out. It's called teamwork. Look it up. Rule 3. Don't attack humans. Why? Because humans are scary when provoked. Trust me, you don't want to see them angry. They're like ants with flamethrowers, harmless until they're not. A goblin raised his hand, but what if they attack us first? Rimuru sighed. Then I'll deal with it. You just focus on not accidentally starting a war, okay? Rule 4. Death is forbidden. No one's allowed to die. Not from fights, old age, or choking on a random bone. If you think you're about to die, come find me. I'll fix it. Rule 5. No stealing food. This includes snacks, leftovers, and anything on my plate. Steal my food, and I'll invent a punishment you won't forget. Rule 6. Daily compliments. Every day, you must say something nice to your buddy. I don't care if it's about their fur, their cooking, or their terrible singing voice. Just do it. The goblins and wolves grumbled but reluctantly agreed. Several looked mortified by Rule 6, while others seemed too busy arguing over who got to say the first compliment. Meanwhile, Raphael's voice chimed in, as smug as ever. Open double angle bracket, brilliant leadership, Rimuru-sama. Your flair for nonsense continues to astound me. Shall I prepare a plaque commemorating this day? Close double angle bracket. Don't you dare, Rimuru muttered. Open double angle bracket. Perhaps I should assist with Rule 6 by providing you with daily compliments myself. For example, you're glowing today. Rimuru-sama, like a firefly, but far more majestic. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru's tail puffed up as he turned red. Raphael, stop. Open double angle bracket. Oh, Rimuru-sama, I live for your embarrassment. Shall I continue? Close double angle bracket. You're the worst. Open double angle bracket. Oh, Rimuru-sama, that's the sweetest compliment I've ever received. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru groaned after Raphael's last smug remark, his cheeks still pink. Can we take a break from embarrassing me for 5 minutes, Raphael? 5 minutes. Open double angle bracket. Of course, Rimuru-sama. But before you continue basking in your own radiance, I must remind you of something rather critical from the novel Tensura. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru's ears twitched, intrigued. Critical? What is it? Did I forget to floss? Open double angle bracket. No, Rimuru-sama. I am referring to naming. In the novel, you the other Rimuru named both the goblins and the direwolves, forging stronger bonds with them. Considering your current strategy of mimicking his actions, might I suggest doing the same? Close double angle bracket. Rimuru froze. Oh. Right. Naming. That is important. His tail swished thoughtfully. Okay, let's do it. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Open double angle bracket. Many things. Shall I provide a detailed close double angle bracket? Nope. Let's roll. Rimuru clapped his hands loudly, calling everyone's attention again. The goblins and direwolves, still pairing up awkwardly, froze mid-motion like schoolkids caught passing notes. All right, listen up, Rimuru yelled. I've decided to name all of you. A collective gasp swept through the crowd. Goblins whispered nervously, and the direwolves exchanged wide-eyed glances. One goblin fainted on the spot. The elder goblin hobbled forward, trembling. Rimuru-sama, naming monsters is dangerous. It drains your magic. Are you sure about this? PSH, don't worry about it. Rimuru waved him off with a confident grin. I've got plenty of magic. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? A nap? I like naps. The elder still looked unconvinced, but Rimuru pressed on. Trust me, You'll all be stronger and cooler after this. And honestly, you could use it. Some of you look like background extras in a low-budget goblin movie. Open double angle bracket. Your confidence is both admirable and mildly terrifying, Rimuru-sama, close double angle bracket. Raphael quipped. Ignoring her, Rimuru cracked his knuckles. Alright, let's start with the big names first. Rimuru turned to the elder goblin, who looked like he might keel over from excitement. You shall be called Rigurd, Rimuru declared with a flourish. The elder gasped, his eyes brimming with tears. Rimuru-sama. This name. It's so majestic. So powerful. I feel reborn. He dropped to his knees, sobbing dramatically like he'd just won a goblin Oscar. Rimuru blinked. Okay. Moving on. He pointed to the elder's son. And you, my guy, shall be Rigur. Rigur puffed out his chest proudly. I won't let you down, Rimuru-sama. Good, Rimuru muttered, turning to the direwolf leader. Now, for you. From this day forth, you'll be known as Raiga. Raiga bowed deeply, his majestic fur gleaming in the sunlight. I accept this name with gratitude, Rimuru-sama. And your son shall be Ranga, Rimuru added, pointing to the eager pup. Ranga barked excitedly, his tail wagging so hard it nearly knocked over a goblin. Thank you, Rimuru-sama. I shall honor this name forever. Rimuru smiled, feeling pretty good about himself. Naming was easy. Next up, Rimuru turned to the unnamed goblins. He spotted one with a goofy grin and decided to start there. You, the smiley one. You're Gobta now. Gobta beamed. Wow, a name, thanks, Rimuru-sama. Rimuru then moved down the line, slapping names on goblins left and right. You're Gobzo. You're Gobchi. You're Gobble. You're Gobshanks. You're, Gobspaghetti. Gobspaghetti. A goblin repeated, looking confused. Yeah, just roll with it, Rimuru said, waving his hand. Next. Raphael sighed. Open double angle bracket. Rimuru-sama, your naming creativity is unique. Perhaps too unique. Shall I intervene? Close double angle bracket. Shush, Raphael, I'm in the zone. Rimuru snapped, turning his attention to the direwolves. Rimuru stared at the massive pack of direwolves, suddenly realizing just how many of them there were. There's a lot of you, Open double angle bracket indeed, Rimuru-sama. A considerable number. I must warn you, naming all of them will likely exhaust your magical reserves, resulting in close double angle bracket. A nap. Yeah, I got it, Rimuru interrupted. Don't worry, I'll pace myself. But he didn't. All right, your fang. And your claw. And your spike. And your, fluffy. Yeah, fluffy. And your big fang. And your slightly smaller fang. And your open double angle bracket. Rimuru-sama, stop. You are nearing your limit. Please reconsider. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru waved her off. Nah, I've got this. Your paws. Your howl. Your barky McBarkface. And your. His vision blurred. Open double angle bracket. I warned you, Rimuru-sama. Close double angle bracket. I'm fine. Rimuru muttered, wobbling on his feet. Just one more. And with that, he collapsed like a sack of potatoes, face first into the dirt. When Rimuru finally woke up a day later, his tail still twitching in exhaustion, Raphael greeted him with a smug tone. Open double angle bracket. Welcome back, Rimuru-sama. Your impressive overexertion has left quite the impression. Shall I summarize the chaos you caused? Close double angle bracket. Rimuru groaned. What? What happened? Open double angle bracket. You named every single direwolf and goblin, despite my repeated warnings. You then fell into an unceremonious nap, during which Rigurd declared it a divine ritual. Ranga tried to fight a tree in your honor, and Gobta tripped over your tail. It was eventful. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru sighed, rubbing his face. I really need to start listening to you. Open double angle bracket indeed, Rimuru-sama. But where would the fun in that be? Close double angle bracket. Just as Rimuru was about to drag himself up, the tent flap rustled. 3 goblin girls stepped inside, their newly evolved forms enough to make any mortal question their life choices. Gone were their scraggly appearances. Now they had smooth skin, toned figures, and ahem, proportions that seemed designed to test Rimuru's mental fortitude. Rimuru-sama, the tallest one, purred, batting her lashes. We're so glad you're awake. You were amazing yesterday. Rimuru blinked, his golden eyes wide. Yeah, thanks. Amazing's what I do. But his mind screamed something else entirely. There's 3 of them. Why are there 3? In the novel, there was 1. And why do they look like they've been working out at some celestial gym? Open double angle bracket. Rimuru-sama, I sense disturbing thoughts. Shall I remind you of the dangers of unchecked imagination? Close double angle bracket. Raphael's voice cut through his inner monologue like a judge at a comedy roast. What the heck, Raphael? Rimuru thought back. It's not my fault they evolved into literal supermodels. Besides, I'm just surprised there's 3 instead of 1. That's all. Completely innocent. Open double angle bracket. Innocent. I saw where your eyes went, Rimuru-sama. Those were not the eyes of a man merely surprised. They lingered. Close double angle bracket. What's wrong, Rimuru-sama? The second girl asked sweetly, leaning in closer. You seem flustered. Raphael's tone dropped into a jealous growl. Open double angle bracket. I will remind you, Rimuru-sama, that I am your ultimate skill. Your partner. Not them. Close double angle bracket. Nothing's wrong, Rimuru blurted out, trying to maintain composure while his fox ears twitched nervously. Anyway, why don't you go tell everyone I'm awake? The girls exchanged glances and giggled before sauntering out, their hips swaying far more than necessary. Open double angle bracket. Rimuru-sama. Close double angle bracket. Raphael's voice was now ice cold. Open double angle bracket. Explain yourself. Were you admiring them? Lusting after them? I felt your emotions. Do not attempt to deny it. Close double angle bracket. Whoa. Rimuru held up his hands defensively, though he wasn't sure why since Raphael didn't have a physical form. It's not like that. Okay, maybe a tiny bit, but mostly I was just surprised because there were 3 of them, not 1 like in the novel. That's all. Open double angle bracket. A tiny bit. I knew it, Rimuru-sama. You are incorrigible. Do you find their boobs, I mean, bodies, more appealing than the ethereal perfection of your own skill? Close double angle bracket. Wait, are you jealous? Rimuru blinked. Open double angle bracket. Jealous? Of course not. I am merely pointing out your disappointing lack of focus. Perhaps I should start whispering seductive strategies again to remind you where your loyalty lies. Close double angle bracket. Please don't, Rimuru groaned, his tail flopping like a defeated flag. Just as Raphael prepared to escalate her passive-aggressive jealousy, the tent flap burst open with a dramatic whoosh. In strode Raiga, his massive frame almost blocking out the sunlight. Ranga bounded in after him, tail wagging furiously. Rimuru-sama. Raiga barked, his deep voice shaking the room. We have come to ensure your recovery. Ranga's tail smacked the tent pole with a loud thwack. Father and I have been guarding your tent all night. Nothing would dare disturb you. Rimuru blinked at the overly enthusiastic pair. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the effort, but maybe next time don't bark at every leaf that falls. I could hear it in my sleep. Ranga drooped. It was a tactical bark. Before Rimuru could recover, Rigurd strutted in next. And strutted was the right word. His newly evolved form seemed to have skipped basic upgrade and gone straight to professional bodybuilder. His muscles glistened, somehow, and he struck a dramatic pose the moment he entered, flexing so hard his veins seemed to scream. Rimuru-sama. Rigurd boomed, his voice louder than necessary. I am here to serve you with this magnificent new body you have blessed me with. He flexed his biceps so dramatically that the goblin behind him flinched. Wow. That's something, Rimuru muttered, shielding his eyes from the metaphorical glare of Rigurd's sheer extra-ness. Maybe tone it down a bit, Rigurd? You're scaring the goblins. Nonsense. Rigurd struck another pose, this one involving a deep squat. I shall inspire them with my peak performance. Raphael sighed. Open double angle bracket. Rimuru-sama, you truly are a magnet for chaos. Close double angle bracket. After managing to shoo Rigurd out with promises of a future posing competition, Rimuru turned back to Ranga and Raiga. Alright, time to make things official. Ranga, from this moment on, you're my personal bodyguard. You'll go wherever I go, and yes, that includes places where barking is not considered appropriate. Ranga's eyes sparkled with pride. I will guard you with my life, Rimuru-sama, even from leaves. Rimuru groaned. We're working on that. And you, Raiga, Rimuru continued, pointing to the larger direwolf. You're the leader of the pack. Keep them in line, make sure they don't eat the goblins, and try not to let them name themselves. I don't need another Barky McBarkface situation. Raiga bowed deeply. It shall be done, Rimuru-sama. As the tent finally emptied, Rimuru flopped onto his makeshift chair, exhausted. Open double angle bracket congratulations, Rimuru-sama. Close double angle bracket Raphael quipped. Open double angle bracket you've turned a simple day into a whirlwind of nonsense, jealousy, and overly muscular goblins. Shall I prepare an official log of these accomplishments? Close double angle bracket. Please don't, Rimuru muttered, covering his face. Open double angle bracket as you wish. But perhaps next time you'll listen to my warnings. Or at least stop staring at goblin girls. Close double angle bracket. I wasn't staring. Open double angle bracket of course, Rimuru-sama. Whatever you say. Close double angle bracket. After that Rimuru, riding confidently on Ranga's back, looking more like he was auditioning for a fantasy parade than actually leading anything, surveyed the goblin village. Around him, Raiga trotted beside them, pretending to look intimidating. Rigurd was flexing his non-existent muscles, and Rigurd was trying hard to walk with some dignity, despite being the smallest and most confused of the group. You guys really need to work on your team spirit, Rimuru said, adjusting his position on Ranga. You look like a group of overly ambitious squirrels trying to look important. Raiga puffed out his chest. We're important, yeah, very important, Rimuru teased. Important enough to have a whole random structure that looks like a house. Or a really bad party game. Seriously, what's that? He pointed dramatically at a half-built structure that looked like a house only if you squinted really hard and ignored all the obvious flaws. Rigurd winced. Oh, that. We tried to build a house but, well. We have no idea what we're doing, Rigurd said sheepishly. Are you sure it's not just a giant? Lego said gone wrong. Rimuru squinted. Looks like you guys just started putting things together and then decided, yep, that'll do. Rigurd scratched his head. Yes, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Don't worry, Rimuru said with a grin. I'll save the day once again. Tomorrow, I'm off to Dwargon the Armor Kingdom. I'll grab some dwarves who know how to build things that don't collapse when you sneeze. I'll even throw in some dwarven fashion tips while I'm at it just in case you're thinking of going full medieval armor. Rigurd blinked. Dwargon. With dwarves. But what if they think we're too goblin? Why? Don't worry about it, Rimuru said with an exaggerated wave of his hand. You'll look so cute to them. Besides, you're not going alone. I'll bring Ranga here to the rescue. He glanced over at Rigurd. Rigurd, go round up all the goblins in the nearby forest, and bring them here. We need more goblins. We'll take over this entire forest with style. Raiga, you're in charge of the hunting team, no funny business, especially with the rabbits this time. Raiga's eyes lit up. Rabbits? You mean, punch them again? Yeah, let's not talk about that, Rimuru said, feeling a headache forming. And Rigurd, congrats. You're officially the Goblin King now. Rigurd's eyes widened. Me? The Goblin King? Yep, Rimuru said, looking proud of himself. I mean, you've tried to build things, you flex your muscles like you actually have them, and you have an air of royalty about you. He added that last part with a wink. Rimuru was walking around the village, thinking of his next big move when suddenly boom, his brain hit him like a truck full of potatoes. Wait. Shazoo! Rimuru gasped dramatically, almost falling off Ranga's back. Raphael immediately responded, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Open double angle bracket, what is it, Rimuru-sama? Did you realize you're still wearing your pajamas under your clothes again? Close double angle bracket? No, it's Shazoo, Rimuru said, his voice turning serious. She's Rimuru's first love in novel. She's the one, the destined one. And now, I'm like, Obsessed with 3 people. First, me. Because I'm amazing. Then you, Raphael. Because you're perfect, and Shizu. Open double angle bracket. Well, I can't argue with your logic, Rimuru-sama. Close double angle bracket. Raphael's tone shifted to something more serious. Open double angle bracket. But, Rimuru-sama, are you asking me to save Shizu? Close double angle bracket. Can you? Rimuru asked, staring off dramatically into the distance. Raphael sighed deeply. Open double angle bracket. Yes, but one condition, and I'll only tell you that when the time is right. Close double angle bracket. The time. Right. Rimuru repeated, confused. What, like a big reveal? Open double angle bracket. Exactly. When the time is perfect. Close double angle bracket. Isn't it already perfect? Rimuru asked, looking expectantly at Ranga. Not really, Raphael quipped. Open double angle bracket. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Close double angle bracket. The next morning, Rimuru woke up with a start, and by start, we mean he leapt out of bed like a ninja who just realized they forgot their coffee. What time is it? Did I sleep talk again? Open double angle bracket. Yes, Rimuru-sama, you did. You mumbled something about swimming in jello and beating up a sandwich. Close double angle bracket. What? Rimuru looked horrified. I can't even. What kind of crazy dream was that? Open double angle bracket. The kind where food fights back, apparently. Close double angle bracket. Rimuru slapped his face. I swear I can't control my dreams anymore. It's like my brain just refuses to follow normal rules. Yesterday, I was making a stew, and today, I'm apparently battling sandwiches. He sighed dramatically. I'm going to Dwargon with Ranga. I'll be gone at least a week. Hopefully, I can find some dwarves that don't turn my dreams into a cooking disaster. Rimuru mounted Ranga and, with a grandiose gesture, turned toward the village. All right, everyone, I'm off to Dwargon. I'll return with dwarves, knowledge, and possibly an army of enchanted hammers. See you in a week. Don't miss me too much. Rigurd waved dramatically. We'll miss you, Rimuru-sama. I will be the best goblin king. Raiga, in his usual tone of mild confusion, said, don't forget about the rabbits. Rimuru winced. Let's just leave that very far behind. Seriously, don't eat anything in the meantime. I swear if I hear another rumor about you guys eating my furniture. He gave a stern look at Rigurd. Rigurd, looking a little guilty, immediately promised, I won't eat your new furniture. I'll save it for later. Good, Rimuru said, turning to Ranga. All right, let's go. To Dwargon. For dwarves. And possibly potato salad. Maybe a sandwich battle or two. But mostly, dwarves. As they rode off into the horizon, Rimuru couldn't help but think that even with all the nonsense, everything was absolutely perfect. Well, not perfect like in novel, but you get the idea.